All right, my name is John Restad. My company is called Words Become Pictures. And in some of our early meetings, we talked about somebody had an idea of doing a dashboard that would help maybe city managers and the higher ups look and see, kind of evaluate how certain aspects of the government is running. I found that a little boring, I have to admit, and I thought to myself, well, I think the regular citizen should be able to do that sort of stuff. The regular citizen should be able to keep track of what the government's doing and saying, okay, they're failing on the pothole issue, man. It's like they got to get stuff going on with that, or they, And then the other issue I started thinking about is, man, I'm meeting people all the time in Tucson. They're doing really cool stuff. They're doing social activism. They're doing all kinds of great stuff. Or there's a new startup that's coming out, or a new restaurant, and like they have a whole new way of seeing things, but nobody seems to know about it. Or maybe there's a write-up in the Tucson Weekly, but for some reason it doesn't get in somebody's face. So I was thinking social discovery is kind of an issue for a lot of organizations, particularly when they have to compete against multinationals that are yelling at us all the time with all their marketing and all their commercials and that sort of stuff. So I thought, okay, what could be a way that we could consolidate a lot of these things for Tucson only, or for local only. This could be applied anywhere. So the last couple of days, I mocked up a little something that I was thinking. I'm open to lots of ideas on this, but I'm calling it Spokes, and it's just a simple app. Well, it's not really simple, but I'm going to say it's simple. And basically, right now, this is Tucson Weekly, and all these are different spokes, and they just represent data sources that we can look at. And basically, you drag one of these up here. Probably should have refreshed, because this is the, of course, demo mode. I should have done something for demo mode. Anyway, they'll all line up here. I have a couple of simple kind of modules. One of these is like a pie chart, and anyway, one will be a map app. So like if somebody says, oh, okay, I got all this pin information, I got all these potholes in this particular area, boom, you got a little window here that just shows where the potholes are. Or maybe SunTrans could just give a simple, the idea is that this isn't super information data, this isn't super interactive. Each one of these is just kind of displaying some information. So, I like going to see bands at Congress, so like I want to know who's playing tonight. Like I don't want to mess with it. So every time these will all line up when this goes away. Let me try to get a couple of, these are all forgive me for the demo mode here, but these are all little modules that'll line up. I got like a pie chart and an RSS reader and that sort of stuff. So we're already using things that people already have sitting around. They have RSS feeds that are kind of a little bit sleepy, but if they were maintained, they would have information. And you'd be able to, on some of these pop open. Now it's like totally breaking, so let me.
So, but the general idea is it's like a platform to share the data, and it's the way when you first explained it, I thought of iGoogle, if anybody remembers that, where you can throw little widgets in your screen and you always come back to the same data set. Is that right?
That sort of thing. So when you launch this, all your favorite things will still be up there. You can remove them and you can put them away. But the idea would be that, like this one's going to launch a web browser, if you want more information. And this one here's like a graph. So maybe you have information that you want to show people in a pie chart, like this many potholes have been filled this month, or that sort of thing. We can use our imagination to come up with anything. Like this parking lot is 90% filled. If we have that information, I'm not going to have to, drive all over the city looking for a parking spot. So, cool. And the idea is that it's a social discovery area, so that startups and local businesses can use it as a way to be discovered. If people are already using this, there's lots of stuff people are doing out there.
What do you need in the way of people on a team?
I would just like everyone's imagination about. I need somebody who's real good at creating an XML string. So like if we know that there's data, like okay, we want to do a survey. I thought a survey would be another good one. It's like, how do you think Tucson's doing in trash cleanup, or that sort of thing. We could do a simple format for a survey. So it's just like, here's the question, here's the A, B, C, and D, and here's the button, and here's the returns. So if somebody helped me with a couple of query streams with that, we just how it's actually organized is each one of these spokes that I'm calling it, it's just listed in an XML query. I get that query back, and that particular class for that particular component knows how to decode the parameters of that particular query string to populate the fields.
So half of us have no idea what you're talking about.
That's fine.
But
I figured
those that do know where to go.
Yeah.
Cool, perfect. And I think this has a lot of power, potentially kind of game-changing things. So cool project.
No worries. My name's John Restad. Some of you guys met me yesterday morning, or you heard the pitch a little bit yesterday morning. The original idea was to have some sort of dashboard or something that people could put diagnostics and different aggregates in there, and that it would be roughly and generally related to local Tucson related businesses and city government and just things that might be useful. This is entirely temp art, so when you're looking at how ugly it is, then please give us some time. But basically, these are this is a RSS reader, and this is a we have pie charts and that sort of stuff. So the idea is that there's stuff that the city that we might want to know about the city. There's stuff that we might want to know about the community. When I first moved to Tucson, I was overwhelmed with how many unbelievable independent businesses, local businesses that are thriving and that are so well supported amongst the folks here. And they're not always, it seems like most Tucsonans, is that how we say it, are going to the local stores, local restaurants and that sort of thing. Bookman's and the Loft, but think about all my favorite restaurants are local restaurants, and I would rarely get over to the big box stuff. And frankly, it doesn't do us any favors if we're supporting Walmart, because to my knowledge, they don't even pay sales tax. They charge us sales tax, but we never get that sales tax money. So it's incredibly inefficient for us to be spending money outside with any company that isn't locally based. And I know Austin has an initiative called Sustainable Austin or something like that, and I think Tucson should really keep in mind that when we use local money, we keep it here, and it's spent here, and it stays here, and it goes around full circle, like a round river, if you will. Anyway, this was just an early conceptualization of putting, right now they're all Tucson weeklies, so, but they would be different spokes, different icons that represent different businesses or that sort of thing. Right now, Tucson Weekly has a bunch of RSS feeds, which I like. There's some things I've been talking over the weekend to try to get better access to some of the calendar stuff so that we can put in push notifications and that sort of stuff. But the idea is that, and this looks a little more complicated and cluttered, but basically when you get to this setup, there'll be all different sorts of tiles in there, and we'd be able to have calendars with push notifications to let us know, oh shoot, I want to go see that show tonight, bam, and it's going to remind me a half hour before, that sort of stuff. All the stuff that iOS can do, we can, or add it to my iCal and all that stuff. So, it is also a built-in browser, so you can read more data and then close that out, so you don't have to jump between applications and that sort of stuff. This weekend, we primarily worked on figuring out better ways to do the interface. This was kind of the spokes thing was kind of an exploratory way of discovering places that I didn't know about, that sort of thing, and discovering feeds that I find interesting that I wouldn't normally have thought of. One of the stuff for the city we're talking about, when's my trash day? Man, I just moved to this new place, I don't know when the trash guy's coming, or it's MLK Day, are they gonna pick up my trash today? That sort of stuff. But other city-related stuff that, so we primarily worked on interface design, an easy way of linearly showing stuff and, what feeds are available, and you can check off which ones, and then boom, they all show up on your dashboard. I want, when they're walking near my place, pops up a push notification that says, hey, come on in, we're open, that sort of thing. Or it's something related to that, and most of the data that we could get, like if we wanted a crime statistics aggregate or something like that, it's like, oh shoot, should I park my car here? I don't know, man, let me check. And then you look and say, no, but there's been a hit and run or something, you say, okay, well I can live with that, I can just look out for cars, but I don't want, I can park my car here, that's all right, that kind of thing. You know, most of those are GPS related. Most of them, if it's a mobile app, you know, we'll want to, you know, be able to, you know, have that. But the idea of each one of these aggregates is simple, not a lot of data. If you want more information, you go outside the app and a simple tap. You know, you just tap it, it goes to their website, you know. The other one that we wanted to add, and this isn't available yet, I was still working on the map one, but adding the camera so that we could support applications as far as beautifying the, you know, it's like, oh man, somebody knocked over, that whole dumpster is knocked over and nobody knows about it, you know, and it's stinking up the place, and, you know, the raccoons are coming, I think that's all bear, you know. If you're gonna do, you know, we might be able to do one of these apps that, you know, calls out potholes and stuff like that. So that would be another element, but we keep it super simple because each of these is just, you know, straightforward, quick little down and dirty apple, you know, so.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. Questions?